Welcome to the Dream Journal. From the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz, the Dream Journal is a weekly show where we explore the power of nighttime dreams through conversations with dream experts and with you.
So there's no those minutes. Time is keenly found. We are not alone. Water over stone, even if you're by yourself.
Words of Carl Jung, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Today's music is called Chevelization. Not disheveled, but in fact, sheveled. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. Dreams and the Theater, this week with guest Professor Angel Morgan. Dreams in Theater, Theater and Dreams, and also lucid dream drama. I am your host, Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork, and welcome to the Dream Journal. We're also a weekly podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Helps people find the show, but most importantly, tell your friends. Not only does it help us keep growing, but it gives you a chance to find somebody else in your life interested in dreaming, since getting people talking about dreaming is what this show is all about. You can also find Dream Journal archives at Apple Podcasts or Spotify, any of those places. Or you can go to ksqd.org/the-dream-journal. My personal dreams. I haven't... What is up for me? I don't have anything prepared right now. But what is going up for me? Okay, well, what can I say? Ukulele. The ukulele dreams, my new love. It's just something that comes from my heart, and I've had written a couple songs on my ukulele now, and they definitely come from me, and that's the way the dreams come from me. So what more personal, beautiful way to celebrate who I am? And I will say trust and surrender. I'm mulling over the idea of trust, and that I learned to trust my life by first trusting my dreams and just saying, wow, what if this crazy thing that's going through my mind is actually helpful? What if there's something meaningful and valuable in these crazy dreams that I'm having every night? And just taking that as a proposition, learning to trust them, I found that trust carries over into my life. So, anyway, consider that. So next time you have a dream about doing something crazy like ukulele, just give it a try. I don't know. What have you got to lose? Your one wild and precious life, right? What are you going to do with your one wild and precious life? All right, I'd like to say hello to Angel Morgan. Gotcha.
Hi, Catherine.
Excellent. That's always why we do the little hello check-ins. Good, we gotcha.
Terrific.
Okay, so I want to introduce our guest. Angel Morgan, PhD, is a past president of IASD. She's a transpersonal psychology professor and director of the Graduate Dream Studies Certificate Program at Sofia University, which I believe is an entirely online program, which is a wonderful chance for lots of people to try that. That's Sofia University, SOFIA. She is the founder of DreamBridge, author and illustrator of The Alpha Bliss of Myths and Dreamer's Powerful Tiger, a new lucid dreaming classic. Angel Morgan will be locally co-hosting the 40th annual conference for IASD, June 18 to 22. Can you believe it? Right around the corner. In Ashland, Oregon, with Kelly Buckley, a PhD as well. And you can find Angel at thedreambridge.com. So, Angel, welcome. Good morning.
glad to be here.
Okay, well,
Thank
you
you
know-
so much for that nice introduction.
Oh, of course. That's wonderful to have you on the show. And it just reminds me of my little check-in about trust. Like, I have things that are scary in my life and a worry, and the dream journal is one of those things. It's always a dramatic moment to know if it's going to work. Sometimes happens more than once a show, actually. And it's just a good kind of practice for everyday life, really staying present with what's really, really happening. Yeah. So I wonder if you'd like to start with something a little bit, in the moment. Like, where are you at right now? Is there any current dreams you'd like to share, or stories, or
Oh, wow.
yeah, just kind of a check-in.
Ah, goodness.
Yeah.
Well, so much is going on with the IASD conference and Sofia University, and a merging of those worlds in a way, because we've got a lot of students and faculty even who are coming to the conference. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, my dreams are very rich and vivid. It's a lucid journey for me, weaving back and forth between the dream world and the waking world.
Interesting. Do you have any more you want to share about that? Anything more about what is that? So there's lucid dreams, there's lucid living.
Yeah. I what you just said about lucid living resonates. That's just pretty much how I work. There's a certain amount of building lucid muscles, as I put it sometimes. And over time, when you just have done it as long as I have, because I started lucid dreaming when I was a child. And so it's just it's just my reality. It's how I work. So definitely, it's not a matter of, do you remember your dreams? Do you write them down? It's every morning, part of my practice. And how does this weave in with what I'm going to be facing today? And then at the end of the day, well, how can I weave this back into the dream world and find some wisdom there to help me the next time around?
Right. Yeah. No, I like that idea of making it just a regular practice, and yeah. So the building lucid muscles. Do you have any tips for listeners? I guess part of that is just to have the regular practice.
Well, it's interesting that you should mention that, because I'm giving a workshop at the conference, Lucid Dream Drama. And there's a big merging of worlds with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival here in Ashland as well, right?
Yes. So
the whole theme of theater and again, back in 2019, we did a regional conference here called Theater, Dreams, and Art. And certainly one of the things that I've learned over the years teaching is that dream psychodrama, when people learn how to make choices intuitively and creatively in their dream improv, and there's, there are methods around how to do this, but I've found that from that acting out of the dream and that making choices to change the dream or not change the dream, making those lucid choices empower people in their dreams, and they start having lucid dreams, like empowering lucid dreams from the dream psychodrama. So I started calling these workshops Lucid Dream Drama because of this wonderful tool that it can be for inducing lucid dreams, not only lucid dreams, but empowering lucid dreams.
I love that. And so it sounds like that you're basically acting out the dream and seeing what arises. What else is so you talk about making choices or not making choices, so you say making choices to change or not change the dream. So in the workshop,
one of the things I'll be doing before we start acting out is going over the background, the didactic part, introducing the backgrounds, how lucid dreaming perspectives as they relate to dream drama. And one of those ways of looking at things is looking at the actor perspective and the observer perspective, right? Mm-hmm. And I know Stephen LaBerge and Jane Gackenbach have written a lot about the actor and the observer in lucid dreaming, and that in a lucid dream, you really have both. So if you're in the typical non-lucid dream, you would be experiencing things mostly from the actor perspective. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, and so if you are lucid, there's a witnessing that happens. And that's more of like the director, or more like, the observer, the director, witnessing. And so in a lucid dream, you kind of have both, because you can go in and out of acting. You could become a rock, you could become a tree, you could become a bird, but you also have that witnessing, like you're aware that you're in a dream. Yeah. So in lucid dream drama, the dreamer gets to decide if they want to be the actor, if they want to play themselves in the dream, for example, or if they want to cast someone else to play them, and observe, from that perspective. And either choice is perfectly fine. But sometimes people will, and they cast people, they cast people to play, the people or the elements of the dream, and then they direct it, and I'm kind of assistant directing, holding space for the whole thing. Yeah. And sometimes when you go through a dream like that, there's a feeling of nothing really needs to change. And I always ask the dreamer, is there anything you'd like to change here? And if they say, no, I love it just like this. Okay, you can really feel it if they're just saying that, or if they really mean it. But that's part of where the intuition comes in. You intuitively start to sense, no, this is fine. Let's leave this just as it was. It was perfect. Just animating it, bringing it to life through theater, right?
Even if it's an uncomfortable moment, that's just perfect.
Yeah, sometimes that's all that needs to happen. But more often than not, there's something that the dreamer wants to change, or that they'd like to redirect. And I did this, since the pandemic, there's been a lot more of doing this method on Zoom, right?
True, absolutely.
And I'm so glad we're doing this in person in Ashland.
Yes.
But I could give you an example of with my students in China through Sofia University, doing the DreamWork practicum. We were doing a particular a particular student was suffering from nightmares. And they were negatively affecting her overall health, and she appeared ill to her classmates, and they were all feeling concerned for her. And so she asked, can we work with one of my nightmares? And so she brings this dream, and she's on the phone with her emotionally unavailable boyfriend, and his father is colluding against her, and he leaves, the boyfriend leaves to go to the army base without concern for her. And she cries in terrible strife, and then she wakes up, right? This is her nightmare. Yeah. And so she cast people to act it out, and it's amazing on Zoom what people can actually accomplish with this. And I've learned over the years some really good tips for how to make it flow very smoothly on Zoom. And by the end of the nightmare being acted out, I asked her, is there anything you want to change about the dream? And she said, everything.
Everything. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
And it was great because she directed the actors to change the dream completely. All of a sudden, her loving boyfriend is available emotionally. His father is supportive. All is well when he leaves for his trip. And the actor playing her boyfriend improvised that he wanted to marry her when he gets back from the army base. Ooh. And so the student appeared to have healed from this process very deeply, and it was observed and felt by the other students as well, right?
Wow.
So this is an example of an extreme you can change the entire thing as the director of your own dream.
That reminds me of image rehearsal therapy, something that is very
Yeah.
good for changing nightmares, is to totally change the story, totally change the dream.
Yes.
And she just spontaneously did that. You didn't say, why don't you try something totally different? She just chose to change
No.
everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
I never feed
Yes.
it. I always ask, is there anything?
Yes, yes.
Is there anything? Yeah, but yeah, with image rehearsal therapy, there are similarities with that and lucid dreaming and lucid dream drama. The concept is all about changing the dream to empower the dreamer.
Yeah.
But the actual methods of how to do that are different.
Oh, yeah.
The imagery rehearsal therapy is very scripted and specific, and it involves rehearsing it the same exact way a certain number of times a day and so forth like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no, I was just a spontaneous on her part. The dreamer just spontaneously chose that, and I love that she gets a choice, and then she can probably bring that into the rest of her life. That I have a choice here.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that in the weeks following, checking in with the students, they were all applying these concepts, in their dreams and having more lucid dreams and reporting. And this is why, I'm not making this up. People report very, very, following the workshops or the classes that they are having more lucid dreams.
Okay. I love that.
So that's one answer of your
Sure,
question
no.
of how do you build lucid muscles
Right. No,
to
that's
stay with the
good.
theme of what we're talking about.
Absolutely. I get that.
Yeah.
And this whole theme of theater, I'm really getting a clearer sense of how you work with these dreams in a kind of a theater-based way, because I do a dream enactment, kind of a dream embodiment kind of a thing, and I don't do it from the framework of being a theater person the way that you are.
Right.
And so I can see the different spin that you put on it and how empowering that can be to have people making choices and letting them speak those choices. So I have a question now. So this is about theater. We're talking a lot about dreams in theater. And I tell you, I have a lot of dreams about theater, about being in a theater, either in the audience or on stage or behind the stage. And I wonder if you have any sense of what kind of topics I might be exploring, or is this fairly common? Do lots of people have that? It seems like some. I know
Yeah,
do.
well, Carl Jung,
Yeah.
right? He wrote that the dream is a theater in which the dreamer is the scene, the player, the prompter, the producer, the author, the public, and the critic.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And, and I think that it always depends on the dream,
Yeah.
I don't like to say overarching things about even, too many overarching interpretations of motifs that come up. But what's wonderful about theater dreams is looking at, what is being performed?
Yeah.
What is on the screen or on the stage in this theater? And what is the drama in my life that is unfolding right now that I'm being asked to look at by my dreaming mind? And also, I will say, and this is one of the things I'll be going into in another presentation, Dream Arts, Theater Arts at the conference, is looking at how theater appears in dreams, right? Like you say.
Yeah.
And one way is, there are just a lot of ways. I love this topic. One way is when actors are working on a part, and they'll be dreaming that they are that character, and they will, develop insights, or they will develop choices that they want to make with that character in the dream.
Okay.
Directors can dream about the whole play that they're directing and get an idea for what they want to do with the actors the next day. So, and then there's that wonderful play by Christopher Durang in 1983, The Actor's Nightmare.
Oh, I don't know that play.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh.
the Actor's Nightmare is well known by actors. It's the one where you don't remember your lines and you're on stage, or you're naked, or it's like you you don't remember the lines, or you're backstage and you're going down the hallway and you can't get to the stage because the hallway keeps stretching.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh.
That kind of a thing. And some people, they were supposed to have written the play and they didn't, so it's an anxiety dream that actors have.
Yeah.
So there's a multitude of ways that dreams and theater overlap and interact. And I'm going to be looking we're doing a dreams and theater symposium with Kelly Bulkley and Bernard Welt, and I'll be opening that with an overview, a very large overview of how dream arts and theater arts interact from ancient Greece to the 20th century. And then Kelly Bulkley will be talking about dreams and dreamers in the plays of Shakespeare, and Bernard Welt about dreams in the time of Shakespeare.
Of course, there's a lot of themes of dreaming in Shakespeare's plays.
Yes.
Many
a
themes.
lot.
Yeah, some entire plays are basically dreams. And then certainly within the play, there's often references to dreaming.
Yeah, and Bernard and Kelly were part of the regional that we did in 2019 in Ashland, and another fun way that we interacted dreams and theater is that we went to see Macbeth, which has, Macbeth and Alice in Wonderland were the two plays we went to see, and they both have very rich dream references and themes. And so we went there, and then we had a panel the next day with actors from the Shakespeare Festival who were in Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
And so discussed it. And so from that beta conference,
Yes.
yeah, we're now for the big annual 40th anniversary conference in Ashland this year, we're going to see Twelfth Night. And then the next day we'll have a panel with three very prominent people in the company there from the Oregon Shakespeare Festival.
Right. Well, Twelfth Night is a play that I'm not as familiar with as others. I was very much a Shakespeare fiend in high school. I was very interested and read a lot of Shakespeare, but Twelfth Night I don't know much about. Are there dream themes in Twelfth Night? I mean,
yeah, there are dream themes in all of them.
Yeah,
all of the plays. You're right that it's not as obvious in Twelfth Night as in Macbeth, say. The nightmares, the PTSD nightmares from the murders. But it's there've been a lot of remakes. I think there was a movie called She's the Man or something that was all based on like the early 2000s. That was a lot of films have done Shakespeare, so they're I've seen Twelfth Night actually a lot of times, including in Stratford in England, but I've never seen this production, which is going to be a very bluesy, jazzy version. So I'm very excited about that.
Well, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival has been going on for many, many years. It's quite an institution, and I've always meant to get up there and see a few plays, so I guess this is my chance.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
It'll be good. I'm glad you're coming.
Absolutely, yeah.
It'll be so good to see everyone.
I know. We don't know if all the conferences in the future will be in person. There might be some virtual conferences at some point, but this in person this year up in Ashland, and I'm really excited to be there. And while we're talking about the conference, we'll probably talk a little more, like maybe just a few minutes before we go to the break. Want to just say a few things that you're particularly looking forward to? I mean, you already mentioned some of the things that you're representing and the play that we're going to together. We have a big block of seats.
Yes. Yes. Well, as you know, I'm also the Diversity Advisory Chair, and I'm really excited for Elia Danu's opening and closing of the conference with ceremonial dance. And the whole featured track of Dreams and Ethnicity is going to be amazing this year, as well as the Dreams in the Arts, which is the other featured track. And of course, Kelly and I, since the regional, we were also envisioning more theatrical and interactive keynote experiences. So we have a panel. The opening keynote is a panel not the panel I was telling you about before, after 12th night, but there's a panel of 3 people discussing theater dreams and creativity. That's Danya K. Washington, Everin Odsikin, and Camilla Long. We'll be talking with Kelly Bulkley about theater dreams and creativity to start it off. And then we also have, I know you had Andros Jones on here.
We did.
So I'm really excited about the Radio 8 Ball, the Pop Oracle. That is a very different way of doing a keynote, which is what Kelly Bulkley and I really were envisioning. And so I'm very happy that that's working out.
Very experiential. That's like noticing the synchronicity. Everybody in the audience gets to have their own little synchronicity exercise from that.
Yeah, and between Elia Danu creating this container for the opening and closing of the conference, and Andros with the synchronicity, I think I'm just excited for the whole thing, really.
Right.
And then, the big climax of the Dream Ball at the end, we have the rogue suspects coming into play, and so I'm just thrilled about the whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's not too late to register. asdreams.org if you want to take a look at what's available and consider coming up. Ashland's not that far away from Santa Cruz. So I'd like to take a short break. This is Professor Angel Morgan, and my name is Catherine Bell. You are listening to The Dream Journal. Welcome back to the Dream Journal. My name is Catherine Bell, and my guest is Professor Angel Morgan. And I'd like to just share a recent iTunes review. We got one from Photo Lover. I've gained formative insights into dreams and reflected on the role they play in my life much more since I started listening. Thank you, Photo Lover. You can leave your review on iTunes or wherever else you listen on the journal. You can find out about the conference at asdreams.org, and my guest Angel Morgan has a webpage at thedreambridge.com. So, Angel, so glad to have you on the show.
It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I'm wondering if where you want to go from here. We have covered a lot of ground, and maybe if you have any stories to share. We're talking about dream-inspired theater, theater in dreams. What about dream-incubated theater? Certainly there's a lot of incubation that happens when we dream. We get a lot of creative ideas and then can take that creativity and bring it into something that we create, like if you're a playwright, would be into the theater. This is one idea. What do you have? What are you feeling? What's up for you? Some stories to share? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I mean, it goes back to, and I'll be covering this when I'm talking, I said I'll be going back to ancient Greece.
Yes.
I mean, dream incubation in the Asclepian temples of ancient Greece, looking at, this has been done for a really long time. But for example, I was talking about that a little bit earlier, like, for example, as an acting exercise. An actor preparing to play Blanche Dubois, for example, in A Streetcar Named Desire, she might write a letter to herself asking her inner self to reveal in a dream how her own emotional experiences might be similar to those of, the tortured Blanche Dubois.
Right.
So, that kind of a thing.
Right, because that's like they call method acting, where you draw on your own experiences. So your feelings are authentic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it can be hard to see because sometimes the more painful feelings that we have, we don't really want to go there. We might block that out.
That's interesting when you mention that. It really does take a certain amount of courage, even just to be an actor. I think sometimes actors don't get enough credit for the hard work that is put into it, what they're doing with their craft.
Well, it's a pretty far field, perhaps, but I've been watching the series Barry on HBO,
Right.
and it's kind of very the acting there is some of the things that they do to get into the right place for acting are just crazy. Of course, it's TV, so it's very much over the top, and yet there is something about drawing on our own experience. Do you have acting experience yourself, Angel? I know you have history in the theater. What was your primary role?
Oh yeah, that was my whole first career in life.
Oh wow! Do you want to say some more about that?
Sure. Sure. It all started when I was 10 years old with a chocolate milk commercial.
Oh, seriously, you did? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the chocolate milk smile at the end of the commercial with I had the mustache.
Oh, adorable.
And no, the next day I went to school and everyone knew me. We saw you on TV.
Drinking chocolate milk too.
Yeah, no, that's just a funny little story.
That's
but
great.
yeah, no, I was pretty much, the youngest of 7 children, and had to really put on a performance to get attention as a kid.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
Because there were so many.
Yes.
And yet, I just felt like a calling, like it was a calling to play different parts and to be an actor. And I ended up getting my bachelor's at UCLA in theater, film, and television. And I did a lot of live theater. In LA, the Matrix, the Taper, things like that, live theater. And I did a lot of independent films, as a student, but I didn't quite, my life took a different turn spiritually. I was called to, go on a different path than staying in Hollywood after a certain amount of time. And more complex experiences than we have time for on this show.
Whatever you're comfortable sharing, I'm always very interested in the personal journey that we are and how dreams guide us along the way.
Well, that's the other interesting piece of this is I was dream working always because I started dream working as a child with my father, my psychologist father, who was teaching me Kilton Stewart's Sonoy dream theory. As a child to transform my nightmares. And that worked and that, helped all the way through. And then when I was at UCLA, I was studying with Clara Stewart Flagg, the widow of Kilton Stewart. And I apprenticed with her for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
While I was an undergraduate student at UCLA doing theater, and she actually came to see my performances with her husband, Alan Flagg. And it was, oh boy, did I ever draw on dreams with my theater. There was actually, as a senior at UCLA, my friends Amy Stock and Dana Ehrlich, who's now Dana Boulay, we wrote, directed, and performed in a musical called 3 of Cups. And it was this healing for young, healing musical in 1 hour. They called them Noon Miracles. You could put on a play that you wrote in an hour. And we worked on that for months. And my dreams informed pretty much, every piece of that particular production. But anytime I was in a play or directing something or even building costumes or doing makeup, every piece of that, my dreams were informing. And also the dramas that came up of being in Hollywood and being around actors and hearing all of their dramas and problems all the time. Those things I would take to the dream group. And the dream group with Clara really taught me so much about, how to hold space in a deep way, Of course, I had a psychologist father, so there was that influence as well. But when I was doing the dream group work, I really realized, no, this is powerful. I'll be doing this the rest of my life, at least.
So that really spoke to you, the dream work, even more than theater.
Well, yes, because young people in the world of theater, it's very competitive. And in the 80s and 90s, it was a different, it was even more, I want to say, volatile in some ways. But it's always been, the arts it's very competitive, and people can be kind of nasty, to each other.
Right.
And so the work I was doing with dreams, it builds such empathy and compassion. And, you can't listen to somebody when you have agreed to join a dream group, right?
Yeah.
You've made this decision, and you can't just listen to somebody sharing a dream and not care about them. Right. There's this wonderful, loving nature about dream sharing. And so that energy, I brought that into the theater department.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
And so people were telling me not just their dreams, but their, everything. They were just opening up to me all the time. And I realized, this is really important. And I think a lot of actors, that's part of my biography, before studying with Tibetans and, dream yoga and things like that, which is kind of the direction I was pulled toward at that point after UCLA. But I will say that there are a lot of actors and directors, not as many as I'd like to see, but there are, it has caught on, I think, since inception in 2010.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the same year my documentary Linked, The Dream Creativity Connection came out. Mm-hmm. And you heard about actors who were doing more dream work. For example, I think Ryan Gosling even.
Oh, okay.
Ryan Gosling, hey girl, he decided to have his actors in a film he directed, dream journal, and they were going to bring their dreams to rehearsal, every day. Uh-huh. And it helped craft their film. Ah. So yeah, okay. you hear about things like that and you go, okay, it's catching on that there really is something here for the theater and for film.
Well, in the IASD, we're both on the conference planning team, and we always start our conference planning meetings, about Dream Share.
Yes.
But of course, we are a dreaming organization, IASD, the International Association for the Study of Dreams, is all about dreaming. So that makes sense. But having it incorporated into the theater is a wonderful idea. I wonder, do you have any ideas of other ways to incorporate dreams in theater? Or do you think any visions of what could be and to bring these things together?
Well, to answer that question, I'd have to say first that if you really, and this is part of my presentation I'll be giving on dream arts, theater arts, there is a lot that already has been influenced that not everybody is aware of. For example, like film, dreams in film. Yeah. Deirdre Barrett, she has what is it? It's like a listing called Dream Video File. It's an index of films and documentaries that she's reviewed that have been influenced by dreams, starting from like Charlie Chaplin and Inception to like the present day. But if you look at television in the 21st century, it's become increasingly popular, so popular for fictional TV shows. To either address dreams in the dialogue or translate them artistically. And in my presentation, I show examples of that. But dreams in musicals, there's the Dream Ballet. Okay, like in Oklahoma, Agnes DeMille invented that. Oh, right. And the song that they're doing the ballet to is... or actually, it's preceded by Out of My Dreams. The song is Out of My Dreams. So there are a lot of dreams in music as well, which can be very theatrical. Right.
Because you're a singer as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
You have an album and you've sung quite a bit.
2 albums, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So maybe talk a little bit about dreams in music.
Sure. Yeah. Sure, because, dreams, there are a lot of people... a lot of musicians, and I'll give more examples at the conference as well. But for example, from David Bowie, Paul McCartney, Pharrell, Prince, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, Kate Bush, John Lennon, Blondie, Billy Joel, Elvis. You could go on and on. These musicians have been influenced by their dreams, and not only that, their performances, like the costumes or the concept of a video or things like that. Many musicians theatrically are influenced by dreams. And dance as well, which is another form of theater.
Right, that's true. I'm starting to feel like good company with my ukulele dreams, but on stage.
Yes, please bring your ukulele.
I can just try and make me leave it home. No, it follows me everywhere.
Oh, you'll be the hospitality suite.
Sure, totally.
Yeah,
no,
performer.
Yeah, why not?
That's great.
But so there's something about that, the music and theater, the things that are inspired by dreams that are so satisfying.
Yeah, because it's so authentic. Dreams are authentic. They come from our deepest selves and how we truly feel.
Well, you were saying about Martha Graham?
Oh, yes, just that she was very much influenced by dreams. She was interested in Jungian and Freudian analysis, and so her choreography would physically express the inner life. And also, like, Greek mythology, of course, she was influenced by. But Greek mythology and dreams were her two main sources of inspiration.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I've actually been mulling over something that I'd like to try at the conference. I'm leading a morning dream group, and so I'll have a group of people together for 4 mornings in a row, and we're going to do a certain amount of embodied acting, and I'm going to try to incorporate some of the things I'm learning from you, Angel, if that's okay. It sounds very fabulous. And one of the things I've been experimenting with, and it has to be in person, is dream dancing. To just take a few minutes to express your dream, and just to yourself to imagine the dream, and not necessarily acting it out per se, but dancing it and like moving with the energy of it. Yeah, just as an inner experience, not as a performance or anything.
Right.
Per se.
Right, you're speaking the language of Alaya Danu.
Yes. I think she inspired me. And I had a chance to leave a retreat a few months ago, and I lead a class at a retreat, and I tried the dream dancing with my participants, and it was lovely, and it was definitely inspired by Alaya Danu, who is a very inspiring person. And I've been a dancer for a long time myself. I love to dance the same way I play ukulele. Like, I'm not a professional or anything, but I just love to move.
Yeah. Well, there's this one woman that I interviewed for my film, my documentary, and she used to play, I don't know if she still does, I don't think she does this anymore, but she used to play for the Green Show for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival.
The Green
which
Show?
Is, it's a free show, about an hour before the play starts, outside on the bricks, they call it. There's a stage and there's an area. And I'd love for everyone at IASD to just go out there and experience that before the play, because they have different performers, world-class entertainment. And this one woman I interviewed, and she was talking about how she practices passages on her flute, or recorder, or whatever it is she's playing for the music for the Green Show. She would practice it over and over and over in her dreams. And then the next day, she just knew it. It was like when she would take on a new piece of music, for example. So, yeah, it isn't just rehearsing as an actor, but also musicians can use lucid dreaming as a tool.
I've heard even athletes can do that, to practice moves in their dreams. Yeah,
that's right. Right. Yeah.
I love that. So.
Well, there is another piece that I'd like to add if we have time.
Yes,
and that is kind of like the indigenous. There are many indigenous cultures, societies with approaches to dream drama, and that isn't always talked about. So I think it's important to honor. So, for example, like there's a Mapuche tribe in Chile, and they integrate presentational dream sharing into every facet of their waking life. So like ritualized speech and improvised songs, emotionally toned songs, and accounts of heroic deeds and narrative folk tales, things like that. And what's interesting about that, as we know, indigenous societies have influenced grassroots dream work.
Well, you mentioned the Sonoy practices, for example.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, all the grassroots, the dream movement in the U.S. were influenced by that, actually, by Kilton Stewart's work with the Sonoy. You could trace it back. But Barbara Tedlock is a cultural anthropologist, and she had noted at a certain point that Western dream workers have also, many of them, have come to a similar conclusion about the presentational power of dreaming. So, in other words, not interpreting dreams, but focusing on the reenacting and the re-experiencing of the feelings and images of the dream as fully as possible. And like we were talking about earlier with the dream drama, like you don't sit around and analyze the dream. Right. You just talk about, okay, well, what was that experience like for you if you want to share? But it wasn't like, okay, now let's pick apart the dream and analyze it. No, you reenacted it, you re-experienced it. And Barbara Tedlock, I love this. She says, well, and then there are those who take the position that the healing power of dreaming requires both experiencing for energy and interpretation for meaning. So there are different approaches to this. You could, with dreams, there's so many, and that's what I love about IASD is that there are so many approaches to dreams, dreaming, and dream work, and we all, we embrace it all, even if we have our own favorites. We learn from each other. We grow together. It's just the most amazing dream community, and I feel so blessed to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I do as well, and there is each person has their slightly different approach, and I think that's fabulous. That's part of the gift, because we are individuals. We are different people, and our dreams are going to be different from each other in the way that we approach our dreams.
Yeah, that's right.
So I wonder, Angel, this is Angel Morgan. The webpage is thedreambridge.com. I wonder if you'd like to talk a little bit about Sofia, the Sofia certificate that you mentioned. It's some other folks might be interested in learning more about it. Is this only for practitioners, or is it also for people who are just personally interested in their dreams?
Great question. Thank you so much. So Sophia, the Dream Studies Certificate Program is open to...
Oh, we've lost her again. I bet she'll be right back. She's just saying open to everyone, I'm pretty sure. Was that? Yes.
It's open to everyone, and she's gone.
Exactly. But I knew it. I got it. Okay. So essentially, if you have a bachelor's degree, because it's a graduate level certificate, so you don't have to enroll in the master's or PhD program, but you would earn 13 units that could be applied toward a master's in transpersonal psychology, or a master's in counseling psychology, or if you already have your master's, you could apply it toward a PhD at Sofia in transpersonal psychology. Okay. So it's really exciting. I am very, very thrilled to be directing this program. And the other professors, the team is amazing. The students are amazing. Our courses are, there are 5 courses, so I'll just tell you the names of them. There's Anomalous States of Consciousness, Psychology of Extraordinary Dreams, Transpersonal Approaches to Dreams and Dreaming, Archetypes, Myths, and Symbols. And then there's an Integration Artistic Presentation. Wow. So, I love that.
Yeah. And it's 100% online, like you say. If you're enrolled in the master's or PhD program, there are 2 residencies a year, like 1 week long. Right. Okay. But otherwise, it's online.
And that's residency where?
So our campuses are in Palo Alto and Costa Mesa. And we're having more and more, we're having the residencies in Costa Mesa because the campus is just so huge and beautiful and we want to use it. The Palo Alto campus, Sofia University used to be the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology, or ITP, as some people know it. And the campus in Palo Alto is still there and still beautiful. It's just smaller. So we've grown a lot since ITP became Sofia, and we've got a lot more programs. And the courses are still small and wonderful, but the sizes, except for the ones in China, those are much larger.
Yeah, you've got a market there. So, Angel, do you have any final thoughts or encouragements for our listeners?
Well, I would encourage you to go to, what is the website? IASDconferences.org/2023 and take a look at attending our conference in Ashland, our 40th annual anniversary conference for the International Association for the Study of Dreams. And, and also there will be a table there for Sofia University for people who want to learn more about the Dream Study Certificate Program. And I just think it's one of those conferences that when people attend their first one, they say it changed their life. And I know you felt that way, and I felt that way. Yep. Back in 2009 was my first conference, and I've, been president since, and all kinds of things have happened, and I'm still hooked. So,
Angel, thank you so much. Everything you do for the IASD is really amazing, and for just spreading the passion for dreaming that you so deeply feel. Thank you so much,
Catherine.
Angel.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so thank you for listening. The Dream Journal is produced at the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz, and it's live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific at ksqd.org. Podcast is released on the Monday after the show. Keeps us growing when you subscribe, rate, and review. I'm Catherine Bell. You can find out about my dream coaching practice at experientialdreamwork.com. Email me at catherine@ksqd.org. That's KATHERINE@ksqd.org. Follow Experiential Dreamwork on Facebook and Instagram to find out about upcoming shows. I'd like to thank Rick Cleffel, engineer and music creator, and Eva Milady. Intro music is Water Over Stones. Outro music is Everything, both by Mood Science. Tomorrow when you wake up, take a minute to write down your dream and bring it to the next Dream Journal.